Welcome.
Okay.
So nice to see you.
So good to see you too. So excited to chat with you today
I
about your
know.
program.
So this is unique because you have taken my practitioner training 1.5 times.
Yeah.
The only one. I love it. You
Yeah,
said
I
round
felt,
two.
yes. Yeah, I felt like the past life entity removal, and was it like quantum journeys, symbolic journeys? That piece was so new to me that I felt like I needed to just hear it again in real time and just be committed to hearing it again.
So yeah, I'd love to hear about, you using the material where you were at before. I know you closed a business. You had many iterations in your journey as a business owner and a practitioner. How did you even get into hypno?
I guess I dipped my toes in when I went to Bali for a month, 2018, and I got trained in a 500-hour yoga nidra training there. I didn't really know hypnosis existed then, um, but it got me into the trance state of receiving and diving into what the subconscious can really do. And I left that training feeling like there was so much more to explore, and that anything I was looking at online was just scratching the surface of subconscious healing and somatic work. So a training popped up in 2019, and it was like an NLP, a traditional NLP time techniques training. And it did have clinical hypnotherapy in it. And that's where I got like introduced to the clinical portion, but still I felt like something was missing. And at the time too, I was not super happy in my business. I was very burnt out, traditional high achiever, doing all the things.
Doing too
Yeah,
much.
doing way too much. But I think I was, yeah, I had a part time nannying job in 2019, and I was really wanting to do full time entrepreneurship. And I had left my job, my like 9 to 5 job in early 2018. Besides the point, I took that training and was just like, there's like some spiritual aspect missing to this. And I felt like it's just something I was craving for. So I literally prayed to my angels and my guides, please send me a mentor who can like hold all aspects of me and the work that I want to do. And I think after that, it probably took like 6 to 12 months before we connected.
Yeah.
So during that time, I didn't have a mentor I felt really rooted in. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing in their like business practices, is this spiritual aspect of themselves and like rooting
Hmm.
into that.
Yeah. It's like I think they know there's something, a piece gone, but they don't always know what it is or how to name it, or even how to look for it, even if you do have that awareness.
I didn't know how to look for it. I think setting, you and I both know the power of intention, and you have to first set the intention and have, like, my full belief was behind there has to be a mentor. There has to be a guide who is doing this work that I can conceive and
Right.
conceptualize. So,
So did you
yeah.
start taking clients in NLP and clinical hypno around that time?
Yeah, so my past life was in higher, not past life and like spiritual, like past life in this
Yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah, we have to be
Yeah,
clear over here.
was in higher education, and then I shifted from like colleges and universities, shifted into a content marketing director role for 2 years at a higher ed tech startup. And then that was very, draining, and I decided, I was like, I'm done with like corporate. I really need to just work for myself. And I saw the power of content marketing and how to build a business through creating your own content.
Did you were you taking
ADHD.
were you taking
Oh,
clients
yes.
with
Okay.
NLP and clinical hypno? And was it
Okay.
script based or no?
Yes, it was script based. So I was taking business clients through content marketing, and then I noticed that they had these mindset problems, challenges coming up, and was using NLP and clinical hypnosis to help them. But I felt like they kept coming back, and it was never really reaching like the root cause of what was going on underneath.
Yeah.
So people would hire me for content marketing, and then they would hire me as their business coach after, because I'm like, you need a lot more support. And the mindset part of running a business, I always say, like, your mindset, it's like running a business is 80% mindset, and I think really 20% strategy. The mindset is leading the story around what's working and what's not working, whereas a lot of people do the opposite
Right.
of the strategy has to work, and
Mm-hmm.
then they let that dictate their mindset and their thoughts. So I was using that, and yeah, just feeling again like there was this kind of emptiness to just talking about strategy and trying to connect it with the mindset piece.
Yeah, because you could have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't believe you're good enough, or that your business is good enough, or that your own time is valuable, or that you secretly loathe money or feel like it's going to be a burden or responsibility, the strategy is only going to take you so far.
Yeah, it's very true. It will
Like,
only take you so far. I think, and some clients have to like go through the fire of just experiencing that themselves
totally.
to be like, it is a lot of my belief and my worthiness of what I talk about. So now I work with a lot of high achievers, basically like speaking to the past version of me and help them to really build their business without burnout. Now I feel like I run a really lean business, and the mindset piece, and it's like a fully spiritual business that I love. And I
Yeah.
brought content marketing back into it, but with like spiritual and subconscious integration with
Yeah.
clients. Yeah.
So what was your experience like? So you took the my very first iteration of my practitioner training. Good for you, the OGs. So that was in 2021.
Oh, was it that long ago?
That was in 2021. And then you took level 2 last year as that, like you said, the refresher for the more spiritual aspects of hypnotherapy that I teach. So, because I just think it's nice to kind of separate those a little bit in my training. I have level 1 that's focused on the personal life, your human life, this thing going on right here, and mostly trauma focused therapies. And then level 2 gets into all the fun, wild stuff: past lives, soul fragmentation, entities, aliens, in between lives, soul contracts, all that fun stuff. So, what
Yes.
was your experience like learning that material, going from something sort of script based, NLP based? You obviously have a lot of business and coaching background. How did you take that material and blend it, and what worked for you?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, your training was so refreshing. Just you kind of got to like color outside the lines. It was actually refreshing not to go by a rule book. And I think from my memory, some of the first training that I went through with you, I could look back on some of the recorded group sessions that we did, like, going through the content. I can see the questions that I asked. It was like, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And you're
The high
like, yeah,
achievers are on high alert during the training. Well,
yeah,
what's step one, two, three, four, five if they say this? I'm like,
right. Yeah. So it was so much more than just learning a modality. It was actually learning to meet yourself in full presence and curiosity. Yeah. And I think, like you said, as high achievers, you're always on the lookout for what could go wrong in a session. And I completely unlearned that template of being a practitioner of like, here's how you be like an NLP, here's how you be a good practitioner. I mean, the like the workbook that they give you is like, in a session, flip to this page and
right,
read this. And
boy,
it felt so formulaic. I mean, there was like 300 pages in this workbook, and I just wanted something where my spirit could be more free flowing and nothing really was off limits in sessions. So I think the first training, a lot of it was like getting to know myself as a practitioner in hypnosis. And I think coming in with, the clinical hypno background was helpful. So I didn't take your essentials course, but I think that would be, of course, yeah, essential to do the second level. And then going through it the second time, I was really focused on, because in our personal sessions, I had gone to past lives, have had multiple entity removals. And I think going through it first is that integrity of, okay, I've gone through it, and now I just want to like revisit it again from the space of, okay, I've gone through it. Now I know what it feels like to receive it. Because I remember in the first training, I don't remember going, like, I went to some galactic places, visits, but I just wanted more. So, and I think that's what your training gives you is a lot of practice with the spiritual aspects of the training. So I just wanted more of it and to like also witness more sessions and practice sessions. Um, that is so helpful. You get the observation piece, you get the practicing, leading the sessions, and then also the receiving of the sessions. So yeah,
Yeah.
I came out of both trainings charging because I was like, I just did so much work inside of this training that
Right.
I felt ready to go. And I was like, I got plenty of practice. So now I feel like I'm good to go and just like hit the ground running in my business right after.
Yeah. And in your actual real practice now, do you feel like you use a lot of these tools? Because you're taking, as you said, you're working with a lot of people building their business, building their brand. You work with a lot of healers or just entrepreneurs. And do you feel like you're using these therapeutic models?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I get less past life regressions, but I also talk about that less, right? Like in my marketing. So I do get plenty of entity removals. And I feel like those are just so common.
Yeah, talk about that. I mean, coming from higher, that's a big leap, coming from higher ed, business
Hmm.
coaching. What's it like to find attached entities to people and be the person to help support them back to light?
Yeah, they feel so. I know you say this in your training, like how common they are. But then when once I learn it, then I'm like, okay, now I feel like I can easily kind of identify when someone may have one. And then I just get curious and ask them if it's there. But I mean, I've always been a spiritual person, so I think it feels natural for me to integrate it. But I think a lot of my clients, it's a surprise after, they go
Hmm.
through the session. I don't necessarily tell my clients like, oh, you could have an entity come up because I don't want to like
Yeah.
presuppose that and suggest it to their subconscious. Um, After the session, I'm like, "Oh, you just went through your first entity removal. Great job." And they're like, "That's what that was."
Surprise! You
Yes.
survived.
Yes, yeah. So, I don't think it wasn't as shocking for me. Going through your training, it just made so much sense of what I felt like my spirit already knew, but my mind was just, okay, this is how you conceptualize it in a session and how you can hold space for it. I think a lot of practitioners feel like they have to explain everything before they book a client. I just kind of leave the space open and I'm like, whatever comes up, I feel comfortable as a practitioner handling in a session. So I'm unafraid now of what could potentially come up. Are we going to the past life today? Are we having more entity removals or really like dark, shadowy emotions that have been there for years? I feel comfortable with it all now. So
It's awesome.
yeah, I think my clients are like, wow, I never thought I could clear that in
Right.
one session.
Right. Yeah, you make a good point. I think some people get nervous when they look at the material or some of the topics that they then have to speak on those topics or advertise them or market them. And I don't think that's true at all. I happen to talk about these things a little bit more than most because I'm teaching them and I like to educate the world on what's out there a little bit more. But to someone like you who's maybe not in that role as much, you don't have to put a sign outside your door and say, I help clear entities in past lives. It's just you have that tool in your back pocket. And if it comes up, you feel comfortable knowing you can pull for it when necessary.
Yes. Yeah. I think all practitioners should have the awareness and the education, probably the practice too. Like people just need to have this because you never really know when it's going to come up in a session. Like even if I just stuck to NLP, this could have come up and I wouldn't have known like how to handle it. I also think there's something about just embodying the energy of yeah, like knowing this stuff and going through it on your own. So, going to your own past lives, doing symbolic journeys, the whole spiritual part, meeting past loved ones, like it was just so meaningful um to go through it and everyone in the container is just like so loving and like they're on the same journey with you. So,
Hmm.
I just, you just really want to like soak all of it up. But I think in terms of like practitioner integrity, I feel like this is where the hypnosis industry is going. And, from here on out, I feel like people are going to keep looking for these, like your training.
I hope so. I hope that I hope this is the direction the industry is going. All we can do is put more of it out there and teach these more unknown, not so common tools and see who vibes with it. But yeah, I hope that in the future it's included more in material and that there's more practice. People, hypno trainings need practice. You cannot learn hypnosis from a video. Please talk about that, Kayley.
My goodness. Yeah. So, I mean, I had to go through modules for my clinical hypnosis training. And honestly, they didn't even really touch on it that much because this is an important aspect. I actually think because your training's virtual, I love in person trainings, but there is like, we're partnered off into breakout rooms. And because we're virtual, we get the privacy and we get the time to. Whereas I remember when I was in person, it's loud. You're all in one
Right.
room. And so I'm trying to listen. I don't feel completely comfortable and safe because there's all these people I don't really know. And I'm not connecting with the practitioner like one on one in the training. And then they just like cut us off. You have 30 minutes, go. And
Right.
you're trying to rush through it, keep time. Whereas I felt like if we had to go over a bit in your sessions, like you would let that breakout room go and be like, okay, that was really important to let the session go for as long as like, yeah, be mindful of time, but I never felt rushed or like I need to wrap this up ASAP.
Yeah.
And then you could also check on us. So you could pop into each breakout room, which is something that I liked because you could give me individual feedback as all the sessions were going in the private Zoom chat.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. In
that's
real
like
time.
in real time. I could hold the space. And then if I got stuck, Leo's there, like he's popping in. You always popped in at the right time if I got stuck, and you would give me live feedback. Hey, like here are some good questions, like move forward with. And it just
Hmm.
gave you that extra layer of, okay, he's like actually paying attention to how we're leading these sessions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in there typing, keeping track, keeping an eye on everyone. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like a hypno session goes where it goes and it kind of needs to play itself out until it feels like there's a safe ending point. Like to limit practice sessions to a certain amount of time makes sense to organize things, but also it's really not realistic for what healing looks like for people. And I'd rather things go a little bit longer than rip someone out of a really deep moment.
Yeah. And then that teaches us to also bring that into our, like the businesses that we're building too. And then what I liked about that was that when we were all ready to come back as a group virtually, if there were common themes going on in multiple rooms, you had a pulse on what was going on and what people were moving through. And then you could be like, oh, there's questions about this in this room. And so just the like breakdown and Q&A that you had after we did the practice was so key and it felt complete. I never left a session really with question.
Yeah, we go full circle. I teach
Mhm.
and then we practice and then we have a review at the end and wrap it all up.
It was good.
Anything you wish you knew going into training if you were to go back in time, give yourself advice or any words of wisdom for people that are considering this training or something similar, like taking this path of spiritual hypnotherapy?
I feel like if you're just feeling called to it, listen to the deeper part of you that's like really attracted to the training and just like maybe put aside you're wanting to know what every little, how it's all going to play out, because one of the best decisions was just I feel like feeling my spirit call me forward into it and just trusting that. So I think if you want to live more of your life that way, whether you're going to be practicing it full time or not, like this is a great training to just trust yourself way, way more in your life. career, relationships. Like it'll affect every aspect of your life. So I think you kind of just have to cannonball in the deep end. I think if you're going to go into the level two, I think approaching it with a fun, I mean, I'm like a lifelong learner, so I feel like I approach how I'm receiving things in that way. But yeah, just the curiosity and taking it one step at a time. But yeah, I would say cannonball into the deep end, like just go for it. So
Go in. Just
I
go
think
all the way in.
yeah, and you don't know what's if you go into it like, oh, I'm definitely going to do this. Where I am now compared to where I am when I was taking both of the trainings is so different than like it helped me accelerate into different timelines of my life. Thinking like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this full time and never do content marketing again and things. It kind of like just revives and refreshes like timelines of your life that maybe like, oh, you're revisiting, you're coming back to. So
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like it's a good spiritual upgrade,
Yeah.
awakening overall.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, people interested in this material, at the end of the day, they're tools for being a better human and helping other humans with the stuff that we all go through. There's a million ways to implement those into your life, whether it's becoming a full-time spiritual hypnotherapist or you just having these tools in your back pocket and you kind of fuse them with something else. And I know that you work with a lot of healers. Is there any other ideas or ways you've seen people fuse these kind of material into interesting things?
I think people love when I do primarily like parts work and hypnosis with my clients. Once they understand parts work and how to use it for themselves, they are like, everything makes so much more sense in my business. You know, I have speakers, consultants, people in like the diversity, equity, and inclusion space. Yeah, a lot of somatic practitioners and other hypnotherapists. But I would say people who aren't directly in this line of work, there's like, I'm a better practitioner, consultant because now I know this about myself. And so I think what I use the most day to day is the parts work perspective. And I use that with like helping people with like their attachment style in their business and just yeah, create more intimate relationships in their own life and business. So
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
that makes sense. And how are you helping people now? What are you using the most? What are you supporting people with? And anything you want to share, your offers, things
Sure.
you're excited
Yeah.
about in your business? Tell us.
Yeah, I think after I went through like my season of burnout and then I had this new business, but bringing aspects of my old business into this one. I do a lot of content marketing still. I kind of have like back pocket offers where I help people write emails, you know, their sales copy, their content marketing to help clients convert into paying clients. Money healing, family of origin, like trauma with money, pricing, ancestral, which I love.
Mm,
Um
juicy.
yeah. I mean, I think visibility is a huge part of that. Trapping into their true voice, clarity, emotional safety in their business. Right now, I have a year long program, which might be 6 months, but subconscious sales is for somatic practitioners, hypnotherapists, healers who really want to have a more sustainable business, but it's coming from that sustainability of their nervous system. And then I am launching a new offer that is called somatic sales, which is specifically around pricing, monthly recurring revenue, just regulated revenue basically, and how to like pair that with offers like with integrity and feel good in your business because I feel like people are constantly trying to crack this code around how to get more clients
Hmm.
and only focusing on the marketing piece, but there's a lot of like back end structure and mindset and nervous system work that goes into receiving it all.
Hmm. Yeah.
I would say I'm bringing my business coaching and then receive hypnotherapy, like my hypnosis, into that offer, which will be exciting. So people will be able to come to group calls where we're going to do like co regulation with parts work in a group setting. And
Nice.
then people can also upgrade to one on one with me for parts work and hypnosis.
Hell yeah. Love it.
I feel like it's going to be so good. And we've already been dipping our toes in subconscious sales around that because it's just such a natural part of that
Mm-hmm.
container. Subconscious sales is more like content reviews, like let me help you ideate your offers and your marketing. But this is solely really the internal, how the internal affects the external. So I'm so
Mm-hmm.
excited, and it's been a long time coming for
That's
this.
great. And I love hearing how business focused your business is, you supporting other people in their business and the many layers of that using these tools. Because again, it's like you look at something like spiritual hypnotherapy and it kind of feels like it's going to lean something in that direction, but to make it so practical, usable for people that are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, other healers, to look at, okay, you've got energetics of your business, you've got your belief systems impacting your business, you've got your ancestry impacting you and your business and what you feel you can earn and deserve. And I think regulated revenue is such a good name. That too, regulated revenue.
That one's a good one.
That's a
Yes.
good one.
Yeah. So I think somatic sales came up more for me, but yeah, I like that one too. I
Hmm.
feel like there's probably yeah, I feel like there's people doing this work, but yeah, it's how you bring it in to your, offer story. I had a long history with like pricing in my old business, and I wanted to bring those experiences into this business. So, yeah, worthiness and all that good stuff. But I also take one-on-one clients for this, but it is more in the business realm. And then I have like from this training, I feel like I saw how to like build a really solid returning client foundation. So every month I have returning clients reach out, and I think that's a huge aspect of building trust with clients. A lot of people think it's like one and done. Like I take a client, I move on. I would say one of my strengths is that I have returning clients reaching out every single month to book packages to like re-sign on. So that's a
Yeah.
huge part of sustainability. And I just want to touch on this like being a high achiever, I used to have a fully booked out calendar. I took 4 clients a day in my past business, like business coaching. Now I take like 2 to 3 clients a week. So that's like 1 client per day plus a group program. And I think that if you're considering a career in spiritual hypnotherapy, it is very healing to have a schedule that honors your body, where you can like I can wake up without an alarm clock most days. Like I still have structure in my calendar, but I just have so much spaciousness that I didn't have when I was in an on-call role in my business, my past business. It was like everything was packed to the brim. And I just think that it's so, so healing to be like, I'm doing this impactful work. My business is sustainable, and I get to have like time because I coach a lot of like single moms, moms who have multiple children, people who have chronic illness, disabilities, ADHD, autism. And it's like, how do we build a business for ourselves? And a lot of people with ADHD and autism, because that's part of my identity, is like we're so naturally gifted at this work, and we're not really sure like spiritually what it means for us. But that was just, yeah, it was a really healing part of just stepping into this identity, and this career path was like so much relief, so much weight lifted around I can make a huge impact, have my own community, and not work so much. Like if you sign up for my email newsletter, if people are listening to this, it literally just says like for I think practitioners who want to do less, like that. So I really teach high achievers how to do less and still keep the integrity of their work, their business intact. So I feel like I had to say that part.
Yes, and I'm glad you did. Thank you. I think people needed to hear that and just hear from that it's possible and hear it from an embodied place, not like a wish, not a desire, not like a, I'm working on it, but like no, I'm living. Like you look at my calendar, you can see it. Like you're living good and you're living an easeful, nourished, supported life.
Yes, and I remember I think I booked, yeah, I booked it. That was our last session, like one-on-one that I booked with you, was more of integrating like I feel like I should be taking on more clients, but is that really going to benefit me? And at what point do I go back into burnout? So it's been really helpful to like have the integration and the background knowledge of everything that's kind of going on in my own subconscious in the journey. But yeah, it's all been so helpful, and I feel like I'm just starting, just getting into it. Like, I
Yeah.
also think people kind of expect you have to build over time. And I think you and we've been in this for a few years, like more than a few years now. And we have a good client base, but like you have to really just get your hands dirty and like be willing to do outreach and things like that in your marketing. And I used to run a lot of group in-person sessions when I started out too. So all those connections are really really good if you want to like build a sustainable practice that's completely available to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's doable, and it's probably good that it
Mhm.
doesn't happen overnight. I mean, that's very stressful and overwhelming to have that kind
Mhm.
of visibility and workload so soon. So, if
Definitely.
you're in it for the long haul, enjoy the process.
Yes. Yeah. But this was so like integral as part of my like growth journey, and it definitely, I hit the gas pedal when I decided to join these trainings. So, I think I made a lot of space in my calendar for these trainings. I think the first go around I probably underestimated, I was doing like a gut healing protocol. Second, do not focus on just this training. Like clear your schedule and make sure you're fully committed. Don't do anything else, like, because you're going to want all of your time and extra attention. Kind of like naturally your mind goes to that place between group calls. And then you're practicing with like other people in the training program. So I would say like, go all in and clear your schedule and like do it for yourself, you know
Yeah.
to have that integrity and the time and the space to like do all the integration, because it is a training program, but then you are working on your own stuff in the program.
You sure are.
So you want all of your as much time and attention um, that you need to work through that.
You're doing a lot of personal healing, a lot of learning, a lot of mind fuckery, a lot of expansion, reframing your ideas of reality. Yeah, it's a lot going on a lot of layers. So I agree. Try and, for the time of this training, focus on that.
Yes.
Do less. Do take things off your plate if possible. I know it's not always possible, but don't do the most while you're doing this training.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, okay, I gotta hire like help, meal prep. I had my husband like make sure you can make dinners for me. Like I got a lot of support during, yeah,
Good.
asked
That's
for a lot of
amazing.
support during it.
That's
But
amazing.
that would be my advice for committing to the training.
Nice. Yes, I agree. Anything else you want to share that people could be interested in taking this path?
Now, if they have any questions, they can reach out. I'm an open book, and I've been working with you, Leo, one on one for 4 years now. So, and I continue gonna keep booking those sessions with you. I feel like, yeah, when you have a trusted practitioner in your corner who you've been working with, you just want to like continue on that evolution with them. So,
Yeah, and it's so
yeah, it's
fun
all
to
good
see
stuff.
the progress in you personally, you as a practitioner, you as a business owner. It's amazing to see it. So thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, of course. Can't wait to send people your way.
Bring
Yeah, I
it.
know. I'm already sending people your way. Enjoy.
Come
Yeah.
to the wild side. That's my favorite. Fresh, fresh hypno babies like walking in, first day of school. What is this gonna be? It's so
Yeah.
good.